A car needs new tires, $800, and you feel like the floor just dropped. Not because you're dramatic, not because you're weak, because for millions of people, $800 isn't a minor inconvenience. It's the thing that tips the whole month. Here's what's actually happening. Federal Reserve data shows 37% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. A quarter of UK adults have less than £100 in savings. Across Western Europe, emergency fund inadequacy is rising fastest in younger age groups. When your financial margin is that thin, no problem is actually small. A flat tire, a broken appliance, an unexpected medical bill, any of these can cascade. Pay the repair, can't make rent, late fee, credit score drops, higher interest rate, less money every month going forward. One domino, whole sequence falls. That's not catastrophizing, that's accurate threat assessment. Your brain is correctly reading the situation. Under genuine financial precarity, threat responses are physiologically activated, not because you're anxious as a personality trait, but because the danger is real. Research by Princeton economists Sendhil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir found that financial scarcity consumes roughly 13 IQ points worth of cognitive bandwidth. The chronic low-level stress of barely managing is the cognitive equivalent of going through life with a migraine. And then we tell people they need to make better decisions, while we've removed the conditions that make good decisions possible. A generation ago, more working people had buffers, union contracts with sick pay and job security, employer pensions that kept coming even if you got sick, affordable housing that didn't eat 50% of income, public healthcare systems with lower out-of-pocket costs. Those buffers meant small problems stayed small. A bad month didn't spiral into a bad year. Systematically over decades, those buffers were removed, replaced with personal responsibility and market solutions that mostly transferred risk downward while profit went up. The result? People living one tire, one bill, one missed shift from crisis, and being told their anxiety is a mental health problem. Here's what this does to communities. When everyone is operating near the edge, social trust collapses. People in scarcity become more competitive, more suspicious, more tribal. Not because they're bad people, because the math tells them they can't afford generosity. You stop helping the neighbor when you're terrified about your own month. You stop trusting institutions when institutions haven't protected you. You stop believing in collective solutions when collective solutions haven't delivered. Precarity is isolating, deliberately or not. And isolated, exhausted, financially fragile people are much easier to govern and much harder to organize. The small problems feel enormous because they are enormous under current conditions. That's not weakness. It's an accurate read of a system with no margin built in for ordinary people. The question isn't why you feel this way. The question is why the system was redesigned to make you feel this way. Next, how stress at this scale doesn't just affect individuals, it rewires how whole societies think. Subscribe, sources in description, at The Western Shift.